the best real life story.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Life is too short, too precious, and too full of purpose for you to waste it on the wrong people. The company you keep will determine the future you create. Some people will lift you up while others will drag you down. And if you're serious about success, about becoming the person you were meant to be, then you need to recognize who is holding you back and let them go. So today I'm going to give you 5 types of people you need to cut out of your life, not next year, not next month, right now. 1, the constant complainer. There is a type of person who, no matter what situation they find themselves in, always has something negative to say. They never see opportunity, only obstacles. They never appreciate the good, only magnify the bad. They're the ones who find a problem for every solution, a setback in every step forward. These people, the constant complainers, will drain your energy, steal your focus, and keep you stuck in a cycle of negativity if you let them. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Maybe it's a coworker who complains about the job every single day, but never applies for a better one. Maybe it's a friend who complains about their relationships, but never takes responsibility for their own behavior. Maybe it's a family member who always has an excuse for why their life isn't working out, but never does anything to change it. These people are stuck in a mindset where nothing is ever good enough and no effort is ever worth making. And the dangerous part, if you're around them long enough, their mindset starts becoming yours. Negativity is contagious. When you surround yourself with constant complainers, you start seeing the world the way they do. You start focusing on what's wrong instead of what's possible. You start feeling frustrated over things you never used to think about. You start doubting yourself, your goals, and your progress, because their complaints plant seeds of insecurity in your mind. You might not even realize it at first, but little by little, their words shape your perspective, and before you know it, you're complaining too. The worst part about constant complainers is that they don't want solutions. They don't want advice. They don't want to take action. They just want to dwell in negativity, and they want company while doing it. You can offer them solutions all day long, but they will always have a reason why those solutions won't work. You can encourage them, motivate them, even show them a way forward. And yet they will always find a way to shut it down. Why? Because complaining is easier than changing. Change requires effort. It requires accountability. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something different. And that's something a constant complainer is not willing to do. They would rather stay in the same place, blaming the world, blaming other people, blaming circumstances, anything but themselves. And because they refuse to take control of their own life, they don't want to see anyone else taking control of theirs either. That's where they become dangerous. If you are someone who is trying to grow, trying to push forward, trying to create something better for yourself, a constant complainer will make you question why you're even trying. They will tell you it's pointless. They will tell you it won't work. They will tell you you're wasting your time, not because they know for sure, but because they don't want to see you do something they're not willing to do. And if you let them, they will poison your mindset. The truth is, no one ever succeeded by complaining. No great business was built. No great dream was achieved. No great life was created by simply sitting around and talking about what's wrong. Success comes from action. It comes from solutions. It comes from taking responsibility for your situation and doing something about it. And if you're serious about moving forward, you need to protect your mindset from people who want to drag you into negativity. It's not about being cold or cutting people off without reason. It's about recognizing what kind of energy you are allowing into your life. If someone is constantly bringing negativity, constantly focusing on the bad, constantly resisting change, you have to ask yourself, is this someone who is helping me grow, or is this someone who is holding me back? And if the answer is the latter, then you already know what you need to do. Life is too short to spend it listening to complaints that lead nowhere. If someone refuses to change, that's their choice. But you don't have to sit there and listen to it. You don't have to absorb their negativity. You don't have to let their mindset become yours. Protect your energy. Focus on solutions, keep moving forward, and leave the constant complainers behind. 2, the lazy leaders. There are people in this world who expect everything to be handed to them. They do not understand the value of hard work, persistence, or earning what they want. They have mastered the art of leeching off others, finding comfort in doing the bare minimum while taking as much as they can. These individuals are the lazy leeches, people who never contribute but are always looking for a way to benefit from the efforts of those around them. They are the ones who show up without ever offering anything of value. At work, they do the bare minimum, taking no initiative and expecting others to pick up their slack. They always have an excuse for why they can't do something, or why they're too tired, too busy, or too overwhelmed. But when it's time to reap the rewards, they are the first to claim their share, demanding what others have worked hard for without giving anything in return. And it's not just at work. These leeches show up in personal relationships too. They are the ones who never pitch in, never offer help, but always want to receive. They take, and never think twice about the fact that they are draining the energy and resources of others. What makes them so dangerous is how they disguise their laziness. They often present themselves as victims, as though the world is out to get them. They tell stories of how things never work out for them, how everyone else has all the opportunities, how the deck is stacked against them. And in doing so, they create a false sense of helplessness that draws people in. They make others feel sorry for them, convincing them that the only way to help is to give. But here's the thing, their story is always the same. They are never truly trying to help themselves. They never take responsibility for their situation or make any effort to change. Instead, they rely on others to fix their problems, never learning the lessons that come from hard work, failure, or self-reliance. These people will drain you, not just your time and your energy, but your mental and emotional resources. They make you feel like you're carrying them, even when you're already burdened with your own responsibilities. Every time you help them out of a tough spot, they will promise they'll change, promise they'll do better, promise they won't ask for anything again, but they never follow. And as soon as they're comfortable again, they're back to their old ways. Taking without giving, always asking for more. The cycle repeats itself, and it's exhausting. But the worst part of all is that they never appreciate what's given to them. They never show gratitude, never express thanks for the help, the time, or the resources that others have given freely. It's as if they expect it. They believe they deserve it. And while you're running on empty, doing everything you can to help them get by, they are sitting back, complacent in their laziness, not even considering what it takes to give back. The lazy leech will keep you stuck in a cycle of giving and getting nothing in return. They will take, and if you allow it, they will never leave you with anything but frustration and resentment. And they know how to manipulate your emotions, how to pull at your sense of responsibility and kindness, making you feel guilty for not helping them. But here's the truth. Helping someone who refuses to help themselves isn't kind, it's enabling. You are not helping them become better, more self-sufficient people. You're simply reinforcing their dependence on you. If you're serious about your own growth and success, you need to recognize the lazy leech for what they are. They are not partners. They are not friends. They are not people who want to improve. They are opportunists looking for an easy way out. They will always take, but they will never give. And if you're trying to elevate your life, you cannot afford to be surrounded by people who are content with staying stagnant, people who want all the benefits without any of the work. The hard truth is that there comes a time when you have to let go of these people. You have to stop enabling their behavior. You have to stop allowing them to drain your resources and hold you back. It's not about being selfish or heartless. It's about recognizing that your time, your energy, and your resources are valuable. You have a finite amount of energy, and you cannot afford to spend it on people who are too lazy to put in any effort themselves. You have to protect your peace, your progress, and your future. The lazy leech is always looking for someone else to do the work for them, but you have to decide that you're no longer willing to carry them. You're no longer willing to give without receiving anything in return. You are not responsible for their laziness. Let them figure it out on their own, and let them face the consequences of their actions. Because until they learn to stand on their own, They will never appreciate the value of hard work, and they will continue to drag you down. And if you allow that to happen, you will both remain stuck, unable to move forward. 3.85, there's a certain kind of person who wears a mask so well, you wouldn't know what they're really thinking until it's too late. This person will smile in your face, laugh with you, and pretend to be your biggest supporter, but when you turn your back, they're spreading rumors, talking behind your back, and wishing for your downfall. They are the two-faced friend, the person who deceives you with charm, but whose loyalty can't be trusted. At first, it's hard to see them for what they really are. After all, they are so good at pretending. They show up when it's convenient for them. They offer words of encouragement when it benefits them, and they make you feel like you have someone you can count on. They'll tell you how much they care about you, how much they want to see you succeed, and how happy they are for your accomplishments. But what they fail to tell you is that their support is conditional. It's only given when they can benefit from it. The two-faced friend is always looking for an advantage. They're not interested in a true, mutually supportive relationship. They're interested in what they can get from you. When things are going well for you, they'll be the first to congratulate you. But when you face challenges or setbacks, they'll be the first to distance themselves. They'll act like they don't know you, as if your struggles are something to be ashamed of, something to be avoided. They want to be associated with you when things are easy, but when you face difficulties, they disappear into the background, afraid to be seen with someone who's not on top. But what's even worse is that behind your back, they're the ones telling people about your struggles. They'll twist the story to make you seem weaker than you are, or they'll exaggerate the flaws they see in you to make themselves feel better. They want to feel superior, so they undermine your achievements, belittle your efforts, and gossip about your mistakes. This type of friend will never celebrate your victories the way a true friend should. Instead, they'll minimize them, as if your success is a threat to their own fragile sense of self-worth. The two-faced friend isn't just someone who speaks negatively behind your back. They actively try to sabotage you. They'll tell you one thing to your face and then tell others something completely different. They'll share your personal information with people who have no business knowing it, all in the name of self-preservation or personal gain. And they won't feel guilty about it. They'll justify their actions saying things like, well, I was just being honest, or I was just trying to help. But what they're really doing is using your vulnerability for their own benefit, all while maintaining the illusion of being your friend. This behavior is toxic, and it's incredibly damaging. It's difficult to trust someone who's so unpredictable, someone who wears a different mask depending on who they're talking to. You'll never know where you stand with them, because their loyalty is always up for negotiation. They will switch sides the moment they think it's in their best interests, and they'll leave you wondering what you did wrong, why they suddenly turned on you. But the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. The two-faced friend is simply incapable of being real with anyone because they are so wrapped up in their own insecurities and desire for validation. The most painful part of all is that the two-faced friend doesn't just hurt you, they hurt everyone around them. They cause division and mistrust. They sow discord among people who might otherwise get along, manipulating situations to create conflict and drama. They thrive on chaos because it gives them power, and they'll never take responsibility for the damage they cause. Instead, they'll play the victim, acting like they had no part in any of the mess they've created. It's important to recognize the two-faced friend for what they are before they have a chance to do real damage. These people are not your allies. They are not your true friends. They are manipulators, opportunists, and users. They only care about what they can get from you, not what they can give. They don't understand loyalty or trust because they are too focused on maintaining their own image and control. If you've ever had the unfortunate experience of dealing with a two-faced friend, you know how devastating it can be. They'll make you question your judgment, your intuition, and your ability to trust others. They'll make you wonder if anyone is ever truly genuine or if everyone is just playing a role. But the truth is, not everyone is like that. Not everyone will turn on you when things get tough. There are real friends out there, people who will stand by you no matter what, people who will support you when you win and when you lose, people who will be honest with you even when it's uncomfortable, And you don't need to waste your time on someone who will turn on you the moment it's convenient for them. You need to recognize the two-faced friend, cut them loose, and surround yourself with people who are genuinely invested in your success and happiness. It's the only way to protect your peace and ensure that the people around you are as loyal and real as you are. 4, the dream destroyer. There are people in this world who, without even realizing it, will try to destroy your dreams. They might not come out and say, "I want to see you fail," but their words and actions communicate something much more dangerous. They don't believe in you. These individuals are the dream destroyers, the ones who undermine your goals, inject doubt into your plans, and try to convince you that your dreams are too big, too impossible, or too unrealistic. It often starts with subtle comments. Maybe they tell you that your ideas are nice, but they're too risky, too far-fetched, too much of a stretch. They ask you, "Why take the chance?" Or, "What if it doesn't work out?" It's not that they want to see you fail, it's just that they don't believe you can succeed. They've never dared to dream big themselves, and because of that, they can't fathom anyone else doing it. So instead of offering encouragement or constructive advice, they offer skepticism and fear. They might even present themselves as being practical, as if being cautious and realistic is the only way to approach life. But in reality, all they're doing is projecting their own limitations onto you. The dream destroyer can be anyone: family, friends, co-workers, or acquaintances. People you would expect to support you, people you trust. But instead of cheering you on, they question your every move. They see your ambition and they feel threatened by it. You might hear them say things like, "I don't think you'll make it," or "People like us don't do things like that." They won't openly try to stop you. They won't stand in your way in a way that's obvious, but their constant negativity and doubt will slowly erode your confidence. They might tell you, "Be realistic. Stop dreaming so big. Be content with what you have." And the more you hear that, the more you start questioning whether you're chasing a dream or chasing an illusion. The danger of the dream destroyer is that they prey on your vulnerabilities. They know how to exploit your self-doubt and insecurity, the little cracks in your armor that you haven't healed. They know that if they chip away at your belief in yourself, they don't need to actively sabotage you. They just need to make you doubt your own worth and abilities. And once they succeed in doing that, they've already won. Your ambition starts to fade, your energy wanes, your goals. The dream destroyer doesn't need to do anything other than remind you that it's easier to play it safe than to take risks. One of the most dangerous aspects of the dream destroyer is their ability to disguise themselves as well-meaning. They'll claim that they're looking out for you or being honest with you because they care. But the truth is, they aren't protecting you, they're protecting themselves. They're trying to keep you in the same place they are. They don't want to see you succeed because your success would remind them of their own unfulfilled potential, their own unspoken fears. So they make sure to point out all the reasons why your dream won't work. And they do it under the guise of concern. They might even tell you, "It's not that I don't believe in you, it's just that I've seen this happen before." Or, "I don't want to see you get hurt." But the reality is, they don't want to see you break free from the limitations they've placed on their own lives. They don't want to see you rise higher than them because it would force them to confront their own lack of ambition. These people are dangerous because they can convince you to shrink your dreams, to lower your expectations, and to settle for less than you're capable of. They can make you question your intuition, your instincts, and your vision. And the longer you listen to them, the harder it becomes to tune out their voice. You start to question if you're being realistic or too idealistic. You begin to wonder if their warnings are true, whether you're really just wasting time or whether you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But here's the truth. The dream destroyer will never understand the power of pursuing something bigger than yourself. They will never understand the satisfaction of chasing a goal that requires everything from you because they've never pushed themselves past their comfort zone. They've never taken risks. They've never dared to dream in a way that might lead them vulnerable to failure. And because of that, they'll never understand what it takes to truly succeed. If you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, you have to ignore the voice of the dream destroyer. You have to protect your vision and hold on to it, even when others try to tear it down. Your dreams are your own, and only you have the power to make them a reality. You can't let the doubts of others, especially those who don't believe in themselves, convince you that your dreams are out of reach. The dream destroyer can't take your dreams away unless you let them. They can't stop you from achieving what you're capable of unless you allow their negativity to shape your path. And the only way to rise above it is to believe in your own potential, to surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, and to stay focused on the future you're building, no matter how impossible it may seem. 5. The energy vampires. There are people in your life who seem to have an uncanny ability to drain the very life force out of you. They don't physically take your energy. Instead, they do so through their behavior, their negativity, and their demands. These individuals are the energy vampires, those who leave you feeling exhausted, emotionally depleted, and mentally drained every time you interact with them. At first, you might not even notice it happening. Maybe you start out feeling fine, energized, and ready to take on the world. But after spending time with an energy vampire, you suddenly find yourself feeling tired, overwhelmed, and less enthusiastic about everything. The energy vampire thrives on creating chaos, drama, and emotional turmoil. They often bring a constant stream of problems, complaints, and crises that seem to demand your immediate attention. They might act as though they need your help, but when you try to provide solutions, they resist or dismiss them. They might ask for advice, but never take it, leaving you feeling like you're stuck in an endless loop of offering support without any progress being made. And even worse, they often fail to recognize how much they are taking from you. In fact, they may see themselves as victims, as if they deserve your time, your patience, and your emotional energy because they're struggling or going through a tough time. The key characteristic of an energy vampire is that they never give back. They don't reciprocate the emotional investment you put into the relationship. Instead, they take and take, drawing from your positivity and leaving you feeling emotionally drained. These individuals are often self-centered, always bringing the conversation back to themselves, their needs, and their challenges, without ever showing interest in how you're doing or how you feel. You might spend hours listening to them talk about their problems, only to leave feeling like you've given everything you have, and yet they still want more. One of the most insidious aspects of an energy vampire is how they manage to make you feel guilty for not helping them. They know how to play on your empathy, your sense of responsibility, and your need to make things better. When you set boundaries or try to distance yourself from their constant emotional demands, they often make you feel selfish or inconsiderate, as if you're abandoning them in their time of need. They have a way of turning the tables, making you feel like you're the one with the problem if you don't comply with their endless requests. This type of behavior can make it incredibly difficult to break free. They will often guilt trip you, manipulate your emotions, and make you feel like the bad guy if you try to set boundaries or limit your time with them. And over time, you might begin to question your own worth or your ability to manage your own emotions, because an energy vampire has a way of making you feel like you're always falling short or not doing enough. They will continue to drain you without any concern for your own well-being. And you may find yourself unable to say no, even when you know you need to protect your own energy. The exhaustion caused by an energy vampire isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional as well. These people can leave you feeling confused, uncertain, and insecure. Their constant negativity, complaints, and emotional demands wear you down over time, and you start to feel like you're walking on eggshells. You never know when their next crisis will erupt or when their next wave of negativity will hit, leaving you perpetually on edge. You might even start to lose your own sense of self because all of your energy is going into dealing with their issues instead of focusing on your own goals and needs. What makes the energy vampire especially dangerous is their ability to disguise their intentions. They don't always appear malicious or intentionally draining. In fact, they can be charming, charismatic, and convincing when they need to be. They might present themselves as needing help or support, and they might genuinely believe they are in crisis. But the truth is, they aren't looking for solutions. They're looking for someone to absorb their emotional baggage. They're looking for someone who will take on their problems without ever demanding a resolution. The effects of spending too much time with an energy vampire are far-reaching. Not only do they sap your energy, but they can also diminish your overall sense of well-being. They create a toxic dynamic where you feel compelled to help them even when you know you can't afford to give anymore. And over time, this dynamic can cause burnout, resentment, and a deep sense of dissatisfaction. You might start avoiding social interactions, neglecting your own needs, or even losing interest in things that once brought you joy, all because the energy vampire has convinced you that their needs should come first. The only way to protect yourself from an energy vampire is to recognize their behavior for what it is and set firm boundaries. You cannot allow someone to drain you without giving anything in return. You cannot afford to lose yourself in someone else's emotional turmoil. It's important to protect your energy, to know when to say no, and to understand that you are not responsible for carrying someone else's emotional burden. If you continue to give to an energy vampire without any consideration for your own well-being, you will eventually find yourself with nothing left to give. Ultimately, the key to dealing with an energy vampire is to prioritize your own mental and emotional health. You have the right to protect your peace and take care of yourself. Surround yourself with people who uplift and energize you, and don't feel guilty for distancing yourself from those who drain you. Recognize that your energy is precious, and you deserve to spend it on relationships that nourish and support you, not ones that leave you depleted and exhausted.